This piece called UUU MEE, it's a symbolization of the continuous process that I've had this relationship with my footwear, or these things that kind of create parts of memories in my head. The shoe became some sort of form of architecture in my point of view, where the shoe gave a person a specific way of how to react to themselves within a daily practice. We all become attached to our shoes, so there's a certain kind of memory that's already embedded in the simplicity of such a, recognizable object. For a long time, I was making these shoes quite wearable to the point where I started to think about what it means to kind of have desire for things that we can't attain. Sometimes clothing becomes a part of that. So I worked on these shoes for 3 years, just trying to accumulate more of this massive beads to abstract the form, always thinking that they would become maybe partners, that they don't necessarily have to resemble themselves again, as a shoe is a left and a right, but that the shoe gave me also an understanding of bringing two objects that were quite alike to have a different personality within themselves. I use beads as a form of a decorative element, but the beads don't become decorative. They become maybe sources of new inspiration. The accumulation process, because it's so intuitive, it became organic in a sense where I did see a sense of almost like bacteria growth. The longer you let something sit out, the more things start to grow around it, where you leave something and you can go back and continue to add things to it, and it slowly tries to like take its own form. So time is what's actually identifying what this piece will look like. Having a structure and idea is really important, but I really love the fact that work can be spontaneous. When I think about my works, it's like they do come from, the inspiration of like artisans and craftsmen, and how they do develop these very rich ways of making things so solid and recognizable. To me, like taking bits and pieces of that, but letting almost like the performative aspect of like our daily lives interact with the practice is what gives me more of that kind of endless freedom to just let the piece grow within itself. We go to churches and we go to museums, and the time and like these works become so important because they do get embedded with so much energy, and the energy of the world is, it's objects do have lives, they do create experiences for people, and art is a form of, using memory, and like thinking about time.